Good morning, Facebook friends. Helen Archontou here, CEO of the YWCA of Northern New Jersey. So grateful to have some time with you together on this Tuesday morning on YWTV. As we know, we are approaching the holidays, and they will look different this year, and they will feel different this year for sure. We've dedicated some time this week to focus on managing some of the feelings, that may come up during this time. Yesterday, we had a wonderful discussion with two psychiatrists from Newbridge Medical Center. We talked a little bit about the holiday blues versus the winter blues and the difference and how to get some help if you need for either of those conditions. And today we're continuing, on that same discussion because we feel so committed to, lifting up our community during this time and making sure that you've got the supports you need. That we brought back a fan favorite, YWTV guest from a few months ago, Dr. Peggy DeLong. And for those of you who remember a few months ago, Dr. Peggy joined us along with two other guests to talk about how she and they were helping people get through this time in different ways, whether they were small business owners or individuals who were just, struggling, and shared so many wonderful coping skills between the three of them in different ways and reaching out to different communities and making an impact. And we've had, this has been a long, many months has passed since we were together. And during that time, we've got wonderful news that Dr. Peggy DeLong has put out a new book. So we were so excited to have her back to talk about her book and to also, as I said, help lift us and hold us and give us some skills through this challenging time, especially now that we are in this holiday season. So before we jump into our conversation and work on cultivating some joy, which we know is a big goal of Dr. DeLong's, let me tell you a little bit about her. She has a private practice in Long Valley, New Jersey. She specializes in assisting individuals and groups with fostering gratitude and cultivating joy in everyday living. She does this through psychotherapy, her online monthly membership, Feeling Good with Dr. Peggy, online courses, speaking engagements, books, and bracelets. She owns Peggy's Midnight Creations, where she designs inspirational mental health bracelets for life transitions and challenges. And we are so excited to have her here. She now adds to her impressive resume a new book, which is called Feeling Good, 35 Proven Ways to Happiness, even during tough times. And she's going to talk about that book with us today as well. So welcome, Dr. DeLong. Thank you for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me back.
So you've been busy. You've been very busy over these months since we've seen you.
Yes, because my book was pretty much ready to come out in February, March, and then it was just completely tone deaf. The whole world changed, and I needed my book to reflect that. So I spent a great amount of time editing the entire book so that it would really be relevant for what people are going through today, because for many people, this is the most difficult time of their life. So that's my whole mission, is to help people with tools that work on your most difficult day.
Well, and we know that you have been helping many. Your group alone has really been an opportunity to provide psychotherapy and support in a very affordable opportunity. We know that it's challenging for people right now financially, and it's wonderful that you've been able to find a way to share the skills and support people during this time. So let's jump right into it. I know that we are really trying to help people shift their mindsets right now from, a place of a lot of upset. I mean, it's people have had suffered from so much loss right now, whether they've lost a loved one, whether they've lost a job, whether they've financially just, watching their income, dwindling because of the experiences that, that we're having right now. how can we help shift folks to feeling better right now?
Well, I think one of the issues that is so difficult is that there is so much out of our control.
Mm,
There's so much uncertainty, so much unpredictability. And all of that contributes to a feeling of uneasiness, of depression, of anxiety, that lack of control. It truly does make a difference in how we feel. So I think one of the first questions that we need to ask ourselves is this within my control? And if the answer is no, really taking a look at that and releasing it, because there's absolutely nothing that you can do if something is not within your control. So it serves no purpose to worry, to ruminate. It only spirals and makes you feel even worse. So simply working on letting it go, talking to somebody, just releasing it. Sometimes just physical activity can help to, as a reset, to release a worry thought. Simply going for a quick walk or up and down the stairs. Where many people we're stuck in our homes, whether we're with a child doing homeschool, whatever it may be. So our opportunities are limited, but in any way that we can get some quick physical activity, that can help release a worry thought. And then if something is within your control, simply taking one little action toward dealing with it can help us decrease anxiety and feel better. So the first step is really examining, is this thought within my control? If not, release it. And if it is, take one simple step to feel better. And another idea is to focus on what you can control. There
mm,
are so many things that we can control, and we really need to utilize that, maximize that. So we can control what we eat. We can control how much social media and media we consume. We can control who we reach out to and have contact with every day. And all of those things really do matter and have an impact on
mm.
our mental health and how we feel. And also finding things that are predictable. In a daily life with so much unpredictability, it's important to hang on to things that are predictable. So for me, that's nature. The weather might be different, but nature is always beautiful and is always there. So every day I'm out in nature. I've found that to be so healing.
So it sounds like it's important for each of us to find out what our thing is, that is
Yes.
to help heal us, and be that touchstone, for this time.
Yes, and it can take some trial and error. And everybody is different, and what might work on one day might not be as effective on another day. So always having a couple of things in your toolbox to
Mhm.
go to lift mood.
That's very, very good information for sure. So, I noticed on your website, and even, when we last spoke, there was a lot of talk about joy and delight. And I love those words. I love those words because you know, they really just create an image and a picture. Can you talk a little bit about what you mean about finding those and the path there?
Sure. Well, I see joy and delight as spurts of elevated mood. They don't need to be maintained for a long period of time. When we think about happiness, oftentimes people have an expectation of a longer term state of well being, and that's wonderful. But sometimes that pursuit can lead to disappointment, where what's more in our control is joy, moments of joy, sometimes 30 seconds. Or delight, and that is achievable. And the brain science behind it, I just love the brain science and the advances in technology, that we can see how certain activities have an impact on the neurotransmitters in our brain that are responsible for making us feel good. So I love and I really believe in word choice. So there's a lot of talk about challenges and a 30-day challenge, and that's great. Challenges inspire growth, but I'm all challenged out. And my mission is to help people find joy in everyday living, even if that's 30 seconds of an elevation in mood. So that's why I choose that word. So when I provide my psychotherapy clients or my monthly membership members with exercises, it's more about delight. It's more about joy than a challenge, because that's really my mission, is to help people elevate their own mood. So that's why I choose that word, and I love that word, delight. Um, and for example, the month of December is dedicated to hope. So I'm providing my members with different activities, different exercises with a weekly delight, something that they can do every week to elevate their mood.
So I love that it's a concrete action, that they can do to kind of get an end result.
Yes, because it's great to read about things and feel inspired, but where it really is magical is when we take action. So I really like to provide behavioral activities. Some involve the mind, but most of them are then taking that mindset or that thought and incorporating some action into it.
So tell us about cultivating gratitude. I know that that's something we hear so much about: gratitude journals, gratitude lists. It's actually a word I use a lot. But how do we actually do that? You've got so many great task oriented approaches for us. Can you give us some idea about creating gratitude?
Sure. There are so many different ways, and this is my favorite thing to talk about. What I love about gratitude is that it is accessible to us any time of day, and it's free. And it takes very little energy. So it's something that we can do on our worst day. And I love to share with people how I discovered the power of gratitude. I really was quite an ungrateful teen and an ungrateful young adult. And it took the worst days of my life to discover gratitude. And that was in a simple cup of hazelnut coffee while my fiance was sick and unfortunately dying from cancer back in 1994. As I sat with him in the hospital, and there was so much unpredictability about when he was going to die. And each day I didn't know what condition he was going to be in. And I found gratitude in a simple cup of predictable hazelnut coffee. So it's my mission to help people to find it on the worst days, to wait for the great days when things are going well and then find something to be grateful for and happy. It's more powerful on our worst days. So it doesn't make the problem go away, but it certainly can elevate our mood and help to shift that negative thinking from spiraling out of control and just shift the energy to have a more positive day. And there are so many different ways to practice gratitude. And I like the word practice because it really is a practice. And all practice means is focused attention and repetition. And another thing I like about gratitude is that it feels good in the moment. And all of the research shows that it has long term mental health benefits, and it becomes habit. We don't even need to think about it anymore. I don't actively think about being grateful for things. It just happens because I've practiced it and formed those new neural pathways to be a more positive thinker. But one of my favorites is simply to set your intention at the beginning of the day. That could be so when I say set your intention, that could just be a thought to yourself. I'm going to be more grateful today. I'm going to notice all of the great things around me, all of the wonderful things, or I'm going to make a big deal out of the small things because that's really what we need to seek, the small little things. Like I said, that cup of hazelnut coffee, not the big things. Find it in the little things to be grateful for. And when we set our intention, it's activating part of our brain called the reticular activating system. And that is the part of our brain that's responsible for filtering all the information that we're bombarded with all day long. And it helps us pay attention. So it's kind of like telling our brain, I want to pay attention to this, and I don't want to pay attention to that, or even not even notice. And when we set our intention in the morning, it just sets us up for more positivity during the day. It helps us notice the good and pay less attention to what we don't want. And that can be, you can do that while you're brushing your teeth. You can do it in the shower. It doesn't need to take any more time. So that's one of my favorite ways, just to be mindful of being grateful throughout the day. I also like the idea of team gratitude. And that is really just picking one partner, somebody that you think is dependable and that would be interested in this activity with you, and daily sharing your ideas about what you're grateful for. And it could be through a text, or a phone call, email, FaceTime, whatever works for you and your partner, and choose whatever amount of time you like. It could be a week, a month, or you could be really adventurous and pick a year and commit to that. And this is helpful for several reasons. First, having a partner helps keep you accountable because you don't want to let your partner down. So if you're going to have a gratitude practice, it helps to have somebody to be doing it with and sharing. Another great benefit is that as human beings, we are simply hardwired to be social. We are happier when we are making connections with other people. So having a team gratitude already built into your schedule, you are connecting with another human being. The third benefit is that it's just wonderful to share what you're grateful for with somebody else. It feels good. And then the fourth benefit is that hearing what somebody else is grateful for, it's like a double dose of gratitude. You are grateful for thinking what you're grateful for, and you get to hear what somebody else is grateful for. And that thing that they're grateful for could have previously been out of your awareness, something that you have in your own life to be grateful for, but you simply weren't paying attention or weren't highlighting it. And now by hearing somebody else, now you can reap the benefits of that as well. So that's one of my favorite things is team gratitude.
I love that. And I'm thinking how we're kind of at that stage where everyone starts making like New Year's resolutions and put so much pressure on themselves. And, this year in particular, since 2020 was so difficult, I feel like people are putting so much pressure on themselves to have a great 2021, and that it's, has to be an improvement, comments like that. But I like what you're saying, because, we don't need for, a holiday to come. We don't need the end of a year to make it happen. These are things we can start today. After this broadcast, you can make that decision, and whether you do it on your own or find a partner, and kind of immediately make that shift.
Yes, yes, it's something that, and you could do it at any time. So if you're a morning person, you could send your text in the morning. So it really is so flexible. And my favorite part about it is that it involves another person, and we need that more than ever right now. So much of our daily routine of connecting with people has been stripped from us. And we need to find creative ways of connecting with others, and incorporating gratitude. It really is wonderful, because it serves two purposes. It helps you develop those neural pathways to be a more positive thinker, and you're connecting with another person. And another great exercise that I love is writing gratitude letters, just thinking about somebody that you're grateful for. It could be somebody from yesterday, could be someone from 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and simply writing a really nice letter about that person, what makes them special, the impact that they had on your life. And so that feels good in the moment. The research shows that when we're in that activity of writing something, we are automatically receiving a boost in mood. But two things are happening. We're focusing on positivity while simultaneously eliminating anything negative. So that is why it's so powerful. And the research shows that even writing 3 simple gratitude letters over a course of, say, a month has long-term benefits. So people feel good in the moment, but it shows that even at the 3-month mark, when people engaged in that activity, they reported an elevation in mood, even 3 months later. So I love that there's so much science and research behind this. That gratitude is not some foo-foo fluff thing. It's brain-based and research-backed, and one of the simplest things that we can do to feel better.
So, talk us through the book. I mean, how exciting that, you had kind of gotten it to the point of ready to go. Obviously, again, how responsible that you took that time to pull it back and really, make it even more relevant based on where we are. But, I know from talking to you that even in this time of COVID, where things are operating differently, you even hit your mid mark, your mid goal in terms of selling the book. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very excited. I'm very proud of this book. And I think that it is so relevant. It couldn't be more timely. And this really just started as a blog that I wrote in 2014. I had, the times were changing and I needed a website for my private practice. And my website developer suggested a blog. And I had never written a blog. I wasn't even sure what one was. So I thought I would answer the question that I have received my whole life. And that is, what do you do to be so happy? I project an image of joy, of joyfulness. And even when my fiance died, and then 6 weeks later, my father died, I still got that question. It was a little bit of a different question. It was, how are you not falling apart? And then, how are you maintaining happiness and joy? So I thought long and hard about it. What do I do to give this impression? And I thought long and hard, and I came up initially with 29 different ideas, and now it's 35. So these are all 35 brain-based and research-backed ideas that contribute to joy. They elevate mood and at the same time diminish symptoms of depression and anxiety. And my publisher encouraged me to find the research behind each idea. So it's not just me. I like giving stories, and I
Mhm.
think that helps the reader to connect with how these ideas can be utilized to provide a personal story of mine or somebody that I know, or a friend over the course of the years. But what makes it really powerful is to understand and know that these are backed by research. So you're not wasting your time engaging in some idea that's not shown to be effective. That's really important to me. So that's really how it started. And so there's 35 different ways, and we don't have to do them all in one day. Sometimes it could just be one. But they really do help elevate mood and are helping people through this difficult time right now. And I like that with each book sale, I'm providing 3 months of free membership in the online companion program, which provides a sense of community as well. So people can know that they're with other people working these tools and exercises. And then we meet once a month to talk about how things are going. But it's kind of nice to know that you're in it with other people.
Mhm. And for those of you watching, we just put a link into our comments how you can access Dr. Peggy's book. So you can take a look at it in more detail there. So, what a gift. So, you not only get the book and you get the 35 ways, but you get the link to your group. And your group really has been a powerful, impactful uh, experience for so many people during this time. Can you speak a little bit about, and I'm sure that the group helped, with the book and back and forth. Can you speak a little bit about that group experience and why that has been even, why that model has been so powerful to deliver your message?
Sure. And the book, I mean, the book was finished in 2018, and I've just been editing it since then. And because all of the material was ready, I started the program last January. So it was already set up before COVID hit. So I was so happy to have something in place where people could go. And I was offering it for free for people who couldn't afford it, just as a way to get mental health support. So the way that it works is that there's a theme for every month. And for December, the theme is hope. And every week I provide an exercise for people to work on. And there's videos and downloadable, I call them grow sheets. As I said before, I think the word usage is important. And when I hear worksheet, I think of high school and I don't want to do work. So I call it a grow sheet. It's about growth. Videos, downloadable worksheets, links to important podcasts, books, things that I'm reading to help people if they want to do some additional growth in that area. And then we meet once a month and talk about how things are going. I also bring in guests when an area is if I want to add some more value, I bring in a guest. I have a wonderful guest coming in this week who's going to provide an additional video about the power of hope. So it's really powerful. And what I love is that it's affordable because unfortunately, even before the pandemic, we have a mental health crisis in this country. And we have a problem with access to quality mental health care. So I'm really proud to have this way for people to have, it's not therapy, but it's a way to get mental health support and education for self-help to be able to help ourselves learn and grow and connection. I think we need that connection. So it's another way for people to get connection.
Yes, I mean it couldn't be more timely, obviously, over these months, to really help break people's social isolation. But I love that give grow activities, grow sheets, to be able to help give people something positive, to be focused on during this time. But you are so right. We are in a mental health crisis in this country, and we really are working so hard to try to help overcome the stigmas that people are feeling about accessing support. And I think, having opportunities like yours, definitely is a way to hopefully start someone on their journey of getting to a better place than where they are at the moment. Well, yep. please.
Oh yeah, and I think just to feel less alone.
Yeah.
There's so much loneliness, which already existed pre-pandemic, and it's just been exacerbated. So it's nice to see human faces. It's nice to connect with people. Some may feel that they kind of zoomed out, but we need to see faces. It's more powerful than a phone call or a text. So I'm also recommending to people, wherever you can, use video, because we connect with eyes and smiles and human faces. That helps us to feel good. So the more that we can get that, the better.
Well, I have to agree, and I am definitely someone who zoomed out, but it really does make a difference to see someone when you're talking to them than being on the telephone for sure.
Yes, yes.
So tell us what's next for you. You have the group is in high gear, the book is out, and you're obviously promoting it and getting the word out to get more people connected to the book and the group. And you just keep evolving yourself. What's next on the horizon?
Well, I love to write, so I'm simultaneously working on two books, because I just love to write, and I'm very grateful that I found a publisher who's interested in my work and helping me with all of the editing and publishing. So one is about parenting. It's called really Back to Basics Parenting, and it was also started as a blog on my website, so that can be found there. But it's really all of the lessons that I learned through about parenting by being parented by two wonderful people. So I learned more from my parents than I did from any textbook or graduate course in child development or parenting. It was from my parents. So it's really back to basics, without technology. So I would love to get that book out into the world. And then the second is kind of goes along with my book, Feeling Good. It's more of a writing exercise. So each chapter, so all of the grow sheets and everything that I am doing that involves writing, it will be put into a journal format, for both my psychotherapy clients to use, because I'm finding that I'm always sharing these, but through email. I'm sending them to my clients and my monthly membership members. I thought I would put it, really nicely into a journal that can be accessed at any time for people to be writing as they go along through the program or in their individual work with me.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I'm also going to put a bug in here. We should really, push some of these concepts and conversations really to that teen and younger age group. And really, we do a lot of work with youth at the YWCA of Northern New Jersey, as you know, and they're carrying so much stress. Before COVID, lives of children have really changed, and the expectations that have been placed on them and all the activities, and they're really carrying so much stress with them. And then now to also be dealing with the social isolation that obviously we're all dealing with, and helping rewire them from a young age to be able to think about joy and delight and gratitude, I think is such a powerful tool to enter into adulthood already having.
Yes, yes. And I wrote the book Feeling Good so that it can, so I give stories from my childhood.
Mm.
So I've learned most of these ideas when I was a child, when I was 8 to 10. That's when I learned these things. And then I just kept doing them intuitively, because they felt good. So I like that I provide the childhood stories so that the parents reading them can understand that these are applicable for their young children. And then throughout the book, there are many stories from high school, so that even the high school, so I really believe that probably age 14 and older can read this book. And then parents can read for their younger children and incorporate ideas for their younger children. You are so right, Helen. It's the studies show right now that it's the older teens and young adults who are struggling the most, because the pandemic has hit them most in their areas of development of what is age appropriate tasks for them right now. Getting out into the world, discovering who they are, starting new jobs, starting a new apartment, all of that has been changed. So I think that these tools are really helpful for that group as well, and for parents to bring to the younger children.
Oh, that's great to know. So parents, keep that in mind. For those of you watching, YWTV is all about getting information out and sharing it. So we bring the stories to you, but we love for you to amplify the message. Please share the broadcast. If there's someone in your life that you wish had been watching this conversation with you, please send the link to them, put it on your Facebook page, blast it out to some family members. It's a great opportunity to amplify important information and messages during this time. And Dr. Peggy, we thank you so much for taking your time out of your book, big exciting time with your book and your groups and the work that you're doing with your clients to share some of these important coping skills and opportunities with us
Thank
today. You all can again easily connect with Dr. Peggy through her social media sites, which we have been putting across the screen throughout the broadcast. There they are again, because I have that kind of magic and I can make it happen when I say it. And also the links are in the comments here. And I do encourage you to learn more and to connect. And if not for you, for someone else in your life who would benefit. With that, we hope you can also join us on YWTV tomorrow at 11 a.m. We have event planner Alexis Moore joining us. I know holidays will look a little different for sure, but it doesn't mean that we still can't, create some fun around them. And hopefully, as Dr. Peggy said, we are using Zoom to see faces of our loved ones, during these times, and we can also make that experience fun on both ends. So. Looking forward to talking with Alexis. And on Thursday, as we do every Thursday, we share the mic now with Black women in our community to amplify their voices. And we look forward to having Onika Roberts with us. She is a YWCA Northern New Jersey board member, but she, more importantly, is a wonderful mom, a veteran, and a amazing businesswoman, and so many wonderful activities that she's involved with, and she's going to share the mic with us. So looking forward to that. And if you like what you see on YWTV, we do encourage you to support our work. You can easily do that by texting equality to 707070 or by going to our website at ywcanj.org and making a donation there. And you can always do it through Facebook also. But we work hard to bring conversations and programs to you that will help inspire and lift your lives. And we hope that you can support us doing that. We wish you a wonderful day. Dr. Peggy, thank you for, setting us into a nice, joyful, delightful, gratitudeful morning so that we can go from here. And we wish you and all of our viewers a happy holiday season. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.